You're watching the Weiss channel. All right, today we're gonna do box and whisker plots. All right, so in statistics, this blue thing represents what's called a box and whisker plot, where perhaps obviously that's the box, and this is a whisker, and this is a whisker. Okay, yes, like cat whiskers, right? All right, so in other words, this is the min or the minimum value. In other words, 34 would be the minimum value. All of these numbers represent data points, okay? If you have a bunch of data, regardless of what the data is, this is just an example. We're pretending that we have a bunch of data, a bunch of numbers, all right? And the numbers range from 34 to 50 in this case, okay? So the minimum is 34, the maximum would be 50, okay? Now, all of these sections, it is divided into 4 sections. Each section is 25% of the data, okay? It will rarely be symmetrical, okay, like this. You'll often find this middle number way to the left or way to the right, okay? It's just where the numbers happen to fall, okay? This middle segment here is called the median. It's the middle number. It's the number exactly in the middle of the data, okay? And this box here is called the interquartile range, or the IQR, the interquartile range, okay? Now, one of the things that I find a little peculiar is that it's divided into 4 sections, but we have Q1, Q2, and Q3, but there's no Q4. All right, whatever. So, because Q2 is the same as the median, it's very rare that you'll be asked what Q2 is, because you'll be asked what's the median. But you could be asked what's Q1 and what's Q3, okay? In this case, Q1 would be 39, Q3 would be 45, and the median, or Q2, would be 42, okay? All right, so in this example here, sorry about that. In this example here, this box plot represents some data set. Now take a look here, okay? Notice to get from 20 to 40, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slashes. Well, it's certainly not 22, 24, 26, 28, so, but wait, it must be 4 by 4s. 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. So that's how that works. All right. So what's the median? The median here would be 48. What's the min or the minimum? 16. What's the maximum? 84. What is the range of the data? The range is the difference between the highest number and the lowest number. So the range is going to be 84 minus 16. And 84 minus 16 is going to be 68. Okay. What is the percent of the data between 16 and 40? The percent of the data between 16 and 40 would be 25%. What's the percent of the data between 40 and 48? That would also be 25%. What's the percent of the data between 48 and 64? That would also be 25%. What's the percent of the data between 64 and 84? That's also 25%. Okay. What's the percent of the data that's less than 64? Less than 64, from here all the way to the beginning. Hopefully that makes sense, that's 75%. What's the percent of the data between 40 and 64? That's the interquartile range. The interquartile range will always be 50% of the data, half of the data. Okay. What's the percent of the data less than 48? Less than 48. That's also 50% of the data. Just like greater than 48 will also be 50% of the data. Okay. All right. What is the IQR of the data? The IQR is the interquartile range. What is the IQR of the data? All you do is take 64 minus 40 and you get 24. What's the value of Q1? Q1 will be 40. What's Q3? Q3 will be 64. What's Q2? Q2 will be 48, although normally that will be called the median. But you could get asked, what's Q2? What is the value of the upper quartile? The upper quartile, that's the same as Q3. The upper quartile, that's 64. What's the lower quartile? The lower quartile is also Q1. That's 40. Okay. You've been watching the Weiss channel.